This video will cover the channel plate that we're attempting to do as a wireframe. We'll take a look at the overall dimensions, 3.75, and the width and length, 1.5, and we're going to construct this in this particular manner. We're going to create one of these wings, and then once we have that fully established, we're going to copy it over from this point to this point to create the two, and then we're going to unite them. So let's go. Let's get to it. Call up our AutoCAD. We're going to create our new file, which I've done, and let's find our UCS. So we'll find our X and Y axis. We're going to follow the same procedure that we did previously with the locator design. Opening up that file, we're going to start with a rectangle, and we're going to specify the corner at 0, 0. And we see that that's happened, and we can tell because it's anchored off of 0, 0. Next point we're going to do is to get the length and width. Okay, so the next point is 3.75, comma 1.50, comma. Okay, so we have something that looks like this, and this is where we make our departure, because we're going to go into a view. And let's see which view this is. It's not this one, it's the upper view in the toolbars. And it's called 3D views. And please get familiar with southeast isometric. So we are making, for a temporary, we're making a wireframe isometric. So we need to create the first step is the bounding box. We want to make a box which we can carve into. So let's do that. The most common tool that we choose to do these things is our simple home. Let's go to our home, copy, get our corner, and we're going to make sure that we're going to turn off two of these for the time being. We'll keep our, so we know we're going. Okay, so where are we sending this into space? 0, 0, comma, and now we can give it the height. 1.75, and get rid of the extra. We see that that's done. Let's connect our dots with a line from end to end. If you hit your toolbar, it goes back into the next, it remembers the command. So I'm just going to keep using my space bar again. There, I've created the bounding box. Next thing I want to do is take a look at the tools, new tools that were mentioned during the last session, which is working on the locator design. So let's go down and pick up views, not view port, but views. Here they are, and I'll bring them out here so that we can discuss them while we draft. Next thing we want to do is pick up, if I go to the locator design, the next tool that they recommend is our snaps, object snaps. Toolbars, AutoCAD, object snaps. Okay, so we have the two things that are going to get us through today. And here they are. Check out our recording, and let's get going. Okay, so let's go back to our view, make sure that we didn't depart from our view. "3D views, southeast isometric," and we did. This is the same thing. Okay, this palette shares the same thing as the palette I just used. This is a different axis. This is a quicker portable version for me. So I want to do this in a very unusual way. I want to create next. Let's get a layer. Get a new layer here. I'm going to create my object layer. Get rid of the title bar there. Give it a color. We'll make it cyan for good luck, and we'll engage it as the lead one. This is where it's going to, I'm going to use some of these views to help me out. So let's hover over this. This says front view, and I am looking straight on to something, and this is a good place for me to begin to carve out this object. So the reason I switched over colors is so I can separate the bounding box from the new color of the object. So I'm just, since I already know that I already put the length is the length, right, I can do that. And I start at one end, go to the other, and now if you will follow along with me, I'm going to start here, and I'm going to head in this direction, and I'm going to get the architecture components that I can get. These ones are a little harder to gain, but I can get these relatively easy. So let's follow along. Okay, so we're looking on it flat now. So I'm just going to take it, go up 1.25, and relatively easy drafting. I can come over 0.75. Go up for the remainder, which it looks like I'm going to use, since I know that this was the top, I'm just going to use the geometry, and I'm going to take this particular tool that I like a lot, which is parallel. And parallel hits me anything on there, and I know that's the top, so I can just skip that. And then from this end, I see that it's 1.5 over here and it's 75 here, so it's halfway. So I can add one more line. 0.75. Okay, and then what I like to do is make this leave a little stubble, right? Just like shaving, I'm gonna leave this little stubble so I can easily determine where the other end is. So now we have a particular section that we'll do here. Okay, so we're going to locate things that are easy. So the next easy thing is to locate where the hole is going to be put. You can use the tool snap from, but I never have good luck with that, so I just use an ordinary line, draft over. It looks like the spacing is going to be 1.5, and then I'm going to go up from that section, and I'm going to go 0.75, save it, and then I'll put a little of my shaving stubble there so I can easily identify where those things are happening. I want to pull in a circle, so let's go to the circle, and it looks like it is a diameter circle. Make sure I select the right one. I don't. Yeah, I'm going to go right there, and I'm going to pull that out to 0.75. Okay, it looks okay. Okay, now comes the hard part. We're going to be looking at these two angles. One says 60, and then this one says 25. I could approach this in a couple of ways. I could go up one unit and then try and figure out where that angle is, but I'm going to try using AutoCAD's way of doing things. So I'm just going to take a line, and I'm going to make sure that I have ortho off, and I'm going to get that 60-degree angle. And the line doesn't have, I'm just going to overshoot, meaning, okay, so we're going to, let's try and mirror this. Okay. Mirror. Select object, enter. Select the dividing point, come down here, and erase source object, yes, we'll accept that. And there I have a 60-degree angle. I can touch on it and check that the length is going okay. And now we're going to come up to the top and do the same thing. We need to make a 25-degree angle. Let's see if this will cooperate. And I'm going to go past. There's 25 degrees. Exit. And now I have an intersection of two lines, undetermined space, because I didn't really know how far those would go. But luckily, they've overlapped. And so now we can perform a trim. Okay, it's telling me that they're not quite there because it's giving me that can't do that sign, so let's try something else. Let's try to fill it. Fill it on 0. Okay, we've accomplished a good move right there. Okay, so now we have that overall shape that's going to help us, and we're going to go back into the 3D mode, which is our view, name views, and southeast isometric. I could have also just clicked this button here and I had the same result, but I'm showing you where it's located. Okay, so now we have at least one plate that we can start to multiply. Okay, so I'm going to turn off the bounding box, and that's why I'm on different layers. I'm going to create a line that is, the width of this is 0.25. Okay, now I'll turn on the bounding box for a second to make sure that that's what it lays on that line. Okay, and it does. Okay, so turn off the bounding box again, and now I'm going to copy the whole thing over the 2.5. From this point to this point, there's that little stubble, and now I can see I have double image, double vision, right? There's a song about that, so let's go ahead and fill it in. And this is where it can get confusing, right? Because you're seeing too many little lines. I'm going to get rid of, let's get rid of these guys. Okay. And connect the dots. Okay, now keep connecting this so we create one full wing. And it looks like we're going to run out of space on this particular video, and we will hurry up our work, and let's do a line from tangent to tangent. There, that'll help us know where that circle resides. Here's my tangency sign. Get rid of this stuff. Okay, so we can go into our view and we can look at our, this is where it starts getting interesting. We're going to do our orbit. We're going to do our free orbit. And we can start to look inside this particular drawing and see that we have in fact a 3D, right? And this is how I'm going to have to find these other spaces where I'll complete this to have a perfect wing, and that'll be this part of part 1 of the video. And now I'm going to go back, send it back home, and now I'm going to start setting up to do the second half of this object, which looks like I'm going to have to do the span of the width, and then I'm going to get that second one, and then I'm going to create a bridge that's going to come across through here. So let's take a look at that. Okay. So I'll do my framework for now. I'm going to turn on the bounding box again. And I'm going to see that I could actually copy all of this over hitting this point. So let's do that before this particular video ends. Let's go select, enter. Okay, there we have the two shoes, and now I'm going to do the complicated procedure of unifying them and trying to get rid of the extra layers, and we'll do that as we approach part 2 of this video.